it's Zainab and you are very welcome back to my channel and my second video, which is surprisingly some sort of a personal video because I want to talk about something bad that happened recently, and I want to share my emotions, my experience, and all the things that it affected in my life. I believe that sharing it with the world is not gonna only help me, but it's also gonna help anyone who's watching this video somewhere and somehow is going through the same thing. I'm gonna start by all the plans that my husband and I had a few weeks ago. By the way, my husband's name is Reza, so I'm gonna say Reza and I from now on because it would be weird to say my husband and I all the time. So Reza and I had some really great plans up to a few weeks ago, and they were life-changing. Like after 6-7 months of waiting, I got accepted in a university in Finland, where I could finally study what I wanted, because when I was 18 and I entered the university because of something that I'm gonna share in another video and dedicate a whole video to that thing, I couldn't study what I wanted. So I decided to do that again, and I got accepted in a field that I wanted to study. We were preparing everything, running day and night to prepare all the documents, everything that needed to be paid and stuff, to finish our stuff, move to Finland so that I could finally study what I wanted. But something happened as we were doing all these things, and that was the war between Iran and Israel. You might think that, like, how did that affect everything about this big plan? You know, my current location is in Iran, where the war happened, one side of the war. In Iran, the banks are not international, and if you want to pay your tuitions and fees, you have to use the exchanger's help. So we were doing some exchanger thingies. We gave our documents to translation offices to translate them for us, and like we were preparing everything to go. And when the war happened, everything shut down and none of them were working anymore. Most of the banks closed down. The translation centers closed down. The exchangers couldn't work anymore. And because it like delayed our plans for 2 whole weeks, it was too late to do anything anymore, especially that, like, when you are doing all these things, you're like in a line, like the, I know, 7th customer, 10th customer, and when everything stops, it's not like as soon as the war ended and they started working, it would be our turn to do our thingies. Finland got canceled, and I'm really having a hard time accepting that, because I waited to study that thing for 10 years, maybe 11 years, and it just couldn't happen. And it was such a shocking thing because it was life-changing. We were moving to another country to study what we wanted, and it didn't happen. Let me tell you something. I listen to rock and metal a lot, and I have a lot of favorite bands. There was this festival in Turkey called Headbangers, where a lot of my favorite rock and metal bands were there, and we're planning on that too. We're planning on buying the tickets so that we could finally go see Soen, Machine Head, Opeth for the first time in our lives. That got canceled too. Before we could pay for the tickets, the internet shut down here. The flights got canceled, and there was nothing we could do. Believe it or not, well, I'm recording this video on 6th of July. That festival was on this day. You won't believe me if I say that I was crying for the past 3 days. It feels like I lost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like basically everything that we're planning on just got destroyed right before our eyes. That itself requires a lot of effort mentally to get over these things and just move on and hope for a better thing to come in the future. And you know, the thing is, all these 2 plans aside, the way it happened was also very weird. It was late at night, and Reza and I were watching Supernatural, where my brother called us after I asked Reza to go check out the balcony door, which is a glass door, and it was like weird echoes hitting that glass, and I was like, go check it out, see if there is a storm or something happening. As he went to do that, we received that call, and I heard my brother saying, Israel attacked Iran. We were like, what? It was very shocking, and it was such a unbelievable in a bad way thing to happen, because you're just living your life and something like a war happens. By the way, let me clarify something here before I continue. I am someone who believes that war is bad. I don't care which country, for what reason or what purpose starts this war. It's bad, and it always has great losses, a lot of damages, and a lot of bad things with it. So I don't care who started the war, who continued the war, or who ended the war. In these 12 days, a lot of bad things happened, and that's such a shame, I believe, for humanity to do all these things for only God knows what reasons. Like, what did they get out of doing this? Both countries. When you are also someone who believes in that, and then suddenly something that you see on the news happens to you, it knocks you out. It happened when I had already recorded my first YouTube channel, and I had a lot of hopes and dreams for it. When the internet shut down and I couldn't even edit my first video, it was just like another mental burden that fell on my head. It was not easy, and I believe it will never be easy to get over what happened and all the things that it brought with itself, all the plans that got destroyed, and all the motivations that slipped out of not only my hands, but out of all the people who were involved in this war hands. The continuous fear that was there for 12 days, it was paralyzing. So after a few days, Raza and I decided to do some stuff that maybe would help us feel better. They somehow did. I'm going to be sharing them here with you guys. The things that helped me go through those 12 days of war and the after effects that are still with me up to now are the things I pretty much talked about in my first video. I'm going to be more specific in this video and talk about the details and show you the things that I actually did. My number one thing that helped me was drawing day and night. Before the war, I finished my face drawing course with my teacher, with my art teacher that I talked about. And I spent most of those 12 days drawing faces from random books or my favorite actors or even my favorite characters. I ended up with 4 somehow good drawings that I'm gonna be sharing them here with you guys right now. This is one of the faces that I drew during those 12 very bad days. This is a classic face from a book that my teacher told me about. And don't mind my nails, I should go do them. They've grown long. So I might share my drawing books here with you guys. So if you guys like to choose anything to draw from them, I can share them with you individually, but this is my first drawing from that book. This is another face that I drew, and I really don't like the shading, but my teacher loved it because she said that this looks very, very similar to the image that she gave me. And here it is. Well, I feel like it kind of looks weird, don't you? It was my first face that I drew in this angle, I don't know what we call it in English, 2/3, I guess. Here it is. This is the other one. This is another face that I finished during those days, and I'm very proud of because, come on. The hair and stuff looks really good for a beginner like me, and I don't have the image here because it belonged to my teacher's archive, but she lent it to me so I could bring it home, draw, and give it back to her. This is another face that I drew in those 12 very bad days, and I'm very proud of it, especially the hair, and especially the fact that this is the second face that I shaded. And by the way, this is one of my favorite actors, and it doesn't look like the way it should. So I want you guys to tell me in the comment your guesses about who this person might be, which actor this person might be, and I'm gonna tell you in next videos who I actually was trying to draw. The other thing that helped me go through everything that I was going through during those 12 days and up to now as the after effects of the war was not quitting my art class. Yeah, I did go to my classes every week. My teacher thought it's a great idea as well because it would help everyone who was going through all these things mentally. But it was kind of scary because, you know, when something like this happens, you want to be with your family to make sure if anything happens, you are there to help them, or you are still together, sticking together no matter what happens. But Reza and I decided to do this so we won't die mentally once the war is over. So I kept on going to my classes and I kept on working on my first oil paint picture that I was painting. I finished it last week and I'm so proud of it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So here it is. Well, the colors don't look right in the camera for some reason, but I'm gonna try to make a short out of it. Actually, I will make a short video about this because I have some images from the times I was painting it. As you can see, it has no signatures yet because we haven't found my artistic signature yet. So I'm gonna find that, sign it, and share the progress that I made during painting this in a short video. What do you guys think about it? As I said in my first video, I'm a bookworm. Like, I read books a lot, and I've been doing it since I can remember, like since I learned how to read, and I never quit this habit of mine. But before showing you the book that I was reading during those times, I'm gonna tell you guys that I have 3 different reactions to the books that I read. My number 1 reaction is about satisfying books. What I mean by that is that if a book catches my interest since the beginning and it keeps on doing that up to the very end, well, I finished that book in 1 day maybe, or even 2 days maximum. These books are my favorite, and I'm gonna talk about my favorite books in different videos. But let's go with the second reaction. The second reaction that I have to books is that it catches my interest, the storyline, at the beginning of the book, but it gets boring. Like the author just fills it up to the very end. It gets very interesting again. My reaction to those books is that I do read them, but it takes me forever to finish them. Like, if I normally would read a 300-page book that is interesting in 2-3 days, I finish these books in a month, even 2 months. These books should be really lucky to catch my interest at the beginning and like kind of reassure me that there's going to be a very cool ending waiting for me to get there. And the third reaction that I have to books is the books that don't catch my interest since the beginning. And I give them a second chance and I go on a little, but if they keep on like being boring, I close them, set them aside forever, and I never go back to them again. No matter how many people tell me that this is an interesting book. I can say that somehow, unlucky me, I was in the middle of one of the books that I had the second reaction to during the war. It was kind of weird to attach to such a book during those times. It was good. I finished it a few days ago and it was good to read that because I was very curious about the end. That book is this book. I don't know whether the cover rings any bells to you, especially that the title is in my local language, but in English it's called Good Omens. I don't know whether you've read this book, or I also read it has, I think, a movie or series, I don't know, a TV show. So let me know what you think about this. It was one of those books that really caught my attention at the beginning of it, especially for a very good reason for me and all the supernatural fans, but maybe what I'm about to say won't make sense to you if you haven't watched Supernatural. Well, this character is called Crowley, and we have a very lovely, cool Crowley in Supernatural. And that was one of the first things that caught my attention in this book. And you know, I love apocalyptic stuff, and this book is about that in a cool and funny way, of course. That's why it did catch my attention since the very beginning of the book, and it kept me going all throughout, even though it was extremely boring in the middle. I can tell you that maybe the first 50 pages caught my attention. It was boring all throughout, up to the part of the book that I got to, that I had like 100 pages to the end of the book. And I am happy that I read this, but I'm definitely not going back to it. It was one of those books that I read only once, because it was very hard for me to kind of deal with the boredom that I had all in the middle, because there was actually nothing going on. Like, if you cut out maybe this much of the book and just attach these many pages to these many pages, then it's gonna be a very good book, but not with all the boring things that happened in the middle. I don't know, maybe it's the translation. So let me know in the comment section if you've read this book, that it's because of the translation, or that's how the story goes. So, yep, this was my buddy during the war. We also did a lot of different things. Amir Reza and I did a lot of things together to get our minds off of all the bad news and all the explosions and all the noises that were coming from outside. That helped us go through different things that were going on back then, which is not long ago, as you know. And I was watching series like Supernatural, which is my #1 favorite TV show, or playing Witcher. I mean, before that we played Bioshock, and we usually buy and download games on our PS4, but because we had no access to the internet, we decided to play one of the games that we hadn't played together, and I already had the Blu-ray of that game, which is Witcher 3. So we started Witcher, and as you know, Witcher is a long-ass game, so we decided to spend hours on it and just enjoy our time together as we are playing video games, which is one of those things that makes life much more enjoyable, right? Those were the things that I experienced, and all the ups and downs and everything that I did to survive such an awful thing to happen to anyone around the world. And I hope that it will never ever happen anywhere else on this planet. I know that right now that I'm recording this video, a lot of people are involved in different wars, and I hope that all of them will stop soon, and we can live a peaceful life on Mother Earth. By the way, I want to do a quick apology at the end of this video, and that's for the quality of my camera. I know that the quality is not the best, but I believe that this is the best message to anyone who's watching my videos on YouTube and wants to start a YouTube channel or start doing something on any other social platform, and they think that they have to have the best camera with the best and the most professional mic to start what they want to do. Guys, as you can see, I'm starting from scratch, and I don't know whether I'm gonna get any hate comments about the quality of the camera because I'm using my phone and I'm using the selfie camera to see what I'm doing and what I'm showing you guys here. I believe this is enough to begin what you want to do. So go ahead, pick up whatever you have, whether it's a good phone or a bad phone, or you have the best camera. Just start doing what you want. The more we move forward, maybe later on in the future, once we made enough money to spend on social media thingies, we can buy the best camera, the best mic, and make the best videos for our audience here. So here, let's do that. Here is my personal video, which happened to be my second video because of what happened in my life. I'm not gonna ask you guys to share this video because it's about war, and we want to spread good news, and we want to feel good when we come on social media, and that's why I decided to record this and talk about the good things that helped me go through this bad thing. So if you think it's gonna help anyone, make sure go ahead and share it. But if you don't know anyone who's gonna feel better watching this video or is going through something similar, then maybe not. But don't forget to like and comment and tell me what you think about the book, about my drawing, or about anything in this video. And I can't wait to talk to you in the comment section or anywhere else that we can talk about here on YouTube. See you in the next video. Bye!